intro. Let's light up.
Welcome back, everybody. Stoner Jesus Show on the video chat. We have Adriana Russo, cam model, stoner. I'm sure many other things, but that's a good start.
Cam model and stoner is probably the two most accurate things,
Oh yeah,
like webcam model and or virtual entertainer, if you
there you
will, is virtual entertainer slash model and pothead.
go. Oh yeah.
I can't roll my own joints, but I can smoke them.
Neither can I. Been smoking over
Right?
20 years. I can't roll worth shit.
Why do you need to? And why do you need to roll a joint? Like back in the day when they, or like, I'm trying to quote Clueless. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie. I don't know why you would have seen the movie, but she's like, why do I need to know how to park? Everywhere in LA has valet. Like, why do I need to roll? Everywhere I go has pre rolls.
That's right. She's bongs, bowls, whatever. Stuff everywhere now. Well, thank you, Adriana, for coming on the show, first of all, taking the
This
time.
thing keeps falling.
We had some technical issues to begin.
What?
Par for the course for my show. There was a lot of technical issues, especially with interviews and stuff. There's almost always a technical issue, but we survived and we overcame, and here we are.
We survived barely.
That's right.
It's because I'm using this as a microphone and it wasn't working.
I have a dildo too somewhere. There we go.
My dildo
I actually have
doesn't
a dildo
exactly work as a microphone as
that they were supposed to look like people. This is supposed to be David Beckham.
David Beckham.
Yeah, and even comes with little soccer balls.
Oh,
And it
so
sucks.
my penis is not a specific person. Although I could give it a name.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I feel like it should have a male name, but there's no male name for weed. Like Mary Jane. I can't call my dick Mary Jane. Well, it's not my dick. I don't have a dick for the record. I'm not transgender. I'm female. His or no, I mean her. Like she. All those pronouns. I'm not a dude.
It's 2022. If you want to call your dick Mary Jane, I think you can.
I mean, I guess I might. So actually, I'd probably call my sex toys Mary Jane instead because being a cam model, one of the things that I get to play with on cam is these little like tip toys. So this is Mary Jane. She could be Mary Jane. When I wear this, if someone tips me while I'm on cam, it vibrates
Wow.
like inside of my vagina,
Yes. You are.
which is pretty cool.
I think
And
that you're
my
working with.
favorite tip amount is 420.
Hell yeah.
Like
So, how'd you get started in camming in the first place? Like, what made you want to do it?
so, I've actually been doing it for almost 10 years, which is wild. I started in 2012, but at the time I lived at home with like my parents,
Oh,
and I didn't exactly tell them, so I kind of had to like hide it. So I would wait for them to go to bed and I would turn the air conditioner on and I would tell everybody in my chat room like I can't really be too loud, blah blah blah, like my parents are sleeping upstairs, and everybody loved it.
yeah,
But
I would imagine.
like I could only cam so often because my parents were only sleeping so often. And eventually they found out.
I was
But
gonna say, did they ever catch you or like walking on you or anything?
so no, but my dad got saw a pay stub and did some research and I was like, oh, and at the time I was dating somebody and he's like, "What's your boyfriend going to think?" I'm like, cuz I don't know. A lot of people think of it as like I don't know, cheating in a way. There's a lot of married men that I interact with
Yeah.
and like it's not cheating. We're just chatting and showing each other our naked parts like over the like over the computer.
I mean,
But
I
yeah,
would
so I
consider
started in
degrees of
in
like,
2012. So from 2012 to 2014, I used to cam sporadically at night from my twin size bed with no boobs. I also this was pre-boob job. So and like I liked it. I did kind of well and I had a regular 9 to 5 job at the same time. But then I broke up with somebody I was with long term and the pandemic happened. So 2019, like when COVID broke out, I decided to try getting back into cam again. Oh, and by the way, the website I work for is flirtforfree.com. So if anybody wants to find me, flirtforfree.com that's where it is. So I got back into it and I was like, holy shit, this is really profitable. Like, I'm making more money doing this. And there must have been so many lonely people at home because of COVID that I think that's what kind of like springboarded me. But this year alone, I made 6 figures from my bedroom.
Wow.
So
That's crazy.
I see models on like TikTok and stuff, like strippers, all talking about how much money they make or whatever and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, but you have to get touched by those people. Those people never come near me.
That's right. We were talking before, and we've talked a little bit over the internet about some of the problems you've had with smoking while camming. I
Yes.
saw one of the screenshots you sent said something about it. I guess a bong is an unapproved
It
item.
actually said drugs as the violation. So, like my persona on cam is kind of like I've incorporated weed because I love weed. Who
Absolutely.
doesn't?
We
It
all
makes
look at me.
exactly. I mean, if I had to be on camera sober, I would be bored to tears. And most people drink and like get drunk to like, you know,
Yeah.
have fun. But in me, I smoke. And joints are okay because you can't tell that it's that it's weed. But when I smoke my bong, aka venom, it's not. It's the violation said I got logged off of. So basically, I was streaming and I was in a party chat. A party chat is something where tips kind of keep it going. And I just got shut down from the system. And it was like, you were immediately logged out by a monitor. And it said, reason, use of federally prohibited substances. Like, federally prohibited? Stop. You're really gonna frickin' shut my stream down for some marijuana?
That's a buzzkill.
It's such a buzzkill. But the best, I signed right back on, and like I continued to smoke. I just smoked joints, and at the time, I wasn't even actually smoking. I was just kind of posing with the bong because this bong is cute. So I was going like this, like sitting with it, like and haters. So there's 3 screenshots of me with this bong, and then I guess 2 with this bong, which this bong is pretty, like, overt, and like I guess I can't really get upset for being caught with like the evidence so clear. I mean, it's like, I can say like I smoke other things in this, but we all know it's really weed.
Yeah. So are the chats like monitored, or would someone actually have to report you for that?
Both, actually. So the chats get monitored by like people, but somebody most likely reported me, and which is
What a scam.
pathetic. And I actually have a feeling that it was a user on the site, not another model, because there is some competition online. Like there's a lot of ways that you can make money on the site, not just from like the commission. They offer a lot of incentives, bonuses, and things like that. So you can win, a couple $100 if you place in the top 10, like one day, or this and that and the other thing. So there's a lot of competition, and there's not very many Americans. Most of the models on the site are actually foreign. They're either from Romania, Russia, or Colombia. And I think that has to do with the fact that the exchange rate and like they make more, I don't know, it's very different over there. But I have a feeling that some of the studios that these girls work for in other countries watch my room and report me,
Could be.
which is really sad. But I'm not going to stop. Ever.
Espionage. Cam world espionage.
I mean, like for you to, but the best part about the violation is I was fined $0. And it said next time, the penalty could be monetary and result in like termination or something. I'm like, please, you're not gonna kick me off the platform from smoking weed. I make you too much money.
You would think. It's
Is
like
that a
it's
little
I mean, it's
conceited or like whatever? But it's just facts.
yeah, real world.
Like, what? I never lit this joint. What was this grease gun? Is what we picked.
Yeah.
I picked it out like 20 minutes ago, and it's still sitting here.
So, I imagine you get a lot of requests, obviously, being a cam model and doing live streams and stuff like that. What are some of the some of the craziest requests you've gotten?
Oh my god, I can't. I don't know where to start. Craziest or creepiest?
Either one.
Well, craziest, definitely back in the day. This was a long time ago. Somebody used to take me to private shows. So a private show is essentially where you pay per minute to hang out with me, and like, so I think my private shows like cost $12 a minute, which is a lot. So this one guy years ago, he used to take me private, and he had a fetish for sneezing. Okay. He wanted me to sniff pepper and try not to sneeze. So I'd be like, and he'd be like, fight it, baby. I'm like, it was the weirdest thing. And then there was one other dude who had a fetish for, I don't know, it was a little rapey if you ask me, because he wanted me to take my Ambien and try not to fall asleep.
Wow.
But then the more common requests, like most people when they come into my chat room, they're like, "Oh my god, you're such a hot MILF," which is hilarious because I don't have kids. See, good stuff.
Grease gun hits hard.
What?
The grease gun hits hard.
It does. Grease gun's pretty good.
I've never heard of it.
I have to recommend it. It's from Curaleaf. And I have a medical marijuana card too, which is why it makes it even more infuriating to me when I get in trouble, because the shit that I have is legal. It's literally like, it's not like I got it off of jail. Not that it would matter. It doesn't matter where I would get the pot. But I got the pot at a dispensary that I paid for with like a government issued friggin', ID that shows that I have a medical marijuana card. And you're gonna tell me I can't smoke?
It's just still crazy. You've come a long way.
Like, how come girls are allowed to, do shots and get drunk? Because I used to do that. And I think when girls on cam, like, get drunk, they get sloppy and messy and they do things that you're not supposed to. So smoking weed is just a better option.
That's right. When you get somebody, when you get one of the higher ups from the website on the show, ask them, what's up with
We
that?
should. Wait, what'd you say?
Get them on here and say, look, weed is not a big deal. These bullshit rules.
I have told them that.
We'll solve the problem.
I actually, one of the things that Flirt for Free does every year is has a summit, which is an incredible experience. I went to Cancun for 5 days for free.
Wow.
I won a trip just from modeling or whatever, and it's 5 days. They rented the entire resort, so it was like the Riviera Maya in Cancun. Not a single guest staying there was not part of the staff or models, which was really cool. And there was like 250 people there.
Wow.
We had like all the alcohol. The only thing I did not have with me at the time was marijuana, because I didn't want to risk getting arrested by traveling to Mexico with it in my luggage. Such a bummer. It was the tolerance break I did not want to have. But while I was there, I discussed with them, because I'd gotten in trouble before, that it's like stupid, and I've said that smoking is part of my brand.
Yeah.
Like, I celebrate 420 on cam. I did it last year. I actually streamed almost like 24 hours. I slept for a little bit, but I was awake at 4:20 a.m. and 4:20 p.m. and I was online and I was smoking with so many people, and it was so cool. People come into my room and are just instantly attracted to me because I smoke. Like, they like to talk about it. Everybody likes to talk about smoking weed.
Absolutely. And put the career on it.
Exactly. You built a career on it. I'm trying to build a career on it, kind of, like with it as in the side thing, you know? And it's worked for me so far. When somebody tips me 420 credits, which is like something that they do often, that's
Mm.
translates to $42. So I get $42 just because people like that I smoke weed.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's fun. And now that I can't see when I'm in the kind of open chat room, I call that the lobby, if you will. Anybody can be in there, like guest users. You don't have to have an account to view my room.
Yeah.
AdrianaRussoLive.com is how you get there. But you don't need to have an account to view it. So like it'll just randomly say like New York underscore some numbers or wherever somebody's from, Brazil underscore some numbers.
Mhm.
And most of the time I have that chat blocked where they can't interact with me unless they make a screen name. But that's how anybody can see me smoking and screenshot me and report me. And according to the executives at Flirt for Free, it has to do with like the banks and that something to do with like sex sites. They want to do anything in their power to shut you down. I believe this is what they tell me. And seeing you do anything wrong is like grounds for MasterCard or Visa or somebody to be like, well, we're not going to let you take our credit cards anymore. And I'm like, okay. And similarly, but not similarly, you're not allowed to show any pets on camera. Like, if you have a dog, it cannot be visible. And I think that has to do with weird fetish stuff that people have and bestiality. But that's just like another rule. So I guess weed falls into the same category as pets. I'm not allowed to have weed and I'm not allowed to have a dog.
Well, you got to navigate the confines of the world we live in. I guess there's all
But you
kinds of
know
options.
what? I'm grateful for the fact that it exists in general and that I have a dispensary a mile and a half from my apartment. Now, I'm not going to say where I live. I live, in the US in Florida, but my apartment number is 420. And that was when I saw that and when I was moving here, I was like, it's meant to be. I have to live there. And
So,
I'm glad.
the what was it like the first time you smoked? Did you get high the first time you smoked?
The first time I smoked was probably an awful experience because I was in high school and I grew up in the Bronx. I don't know if you're familiar with like New York at all, but I used to hang out on City Island, which is this tiny little island in the Bronx where it's not even a mile long, but I used to get high and drunk with and stuff. So I remember the first night I ever smoked, I drank so much tequila that I was puking and so I don't even remember if I got high, but I got definitely faded. And one of the first times I smoked medicinal marijuana, I believe it's only a few years ago because I only started smoking every day like within the past few years just because I learned how much when I was never the type of girl to look for a dealer. Like I would smoke if someone had a joint or something or whatever, but my stepbrother always smoked and so did my mother, which is very interesting. My mom has smoked my whole life and she hid it from me for the longest time from all of us. And she was visiting me recently and we were smoking joints out on my balcony. It was the fucking coolest thing. I was like, Mom, why haven't you been doing this with me for this long? And I actually went to the dispensary and picked up some pre-rolls because she ran out of weed. Like, because she had packed some in her suitcase, but not that much. And I was like, Mom, we can go through the drive-thru. I'll get us some weed. It was so much fun. But yeah, so when I was like 17, I don't remember if I got high, but and then when I started college, I was much more of a drinker. I'm not sure how I'm still alive today. I went to University of Albany and that school is a party school. I did smoke while I was there. I do recall smoking out of an apple and such things at times, but you had to be careful in the dorm rooms because if you smelled anything, the RAs would, you get in trouble. Drinking was fine. Again, what is it with drinking versus like marijuana. Drinking was always fine as long as you weren't loud and they didn't know that you were drinking, you were fine. But you could be quiet and smoking and they smell it and then you get in trouble. So I didn't smoke that much, but I drank like a fish, and I actually like dropped out of that school because I was partying so much. I finished my degree, but I had to finish it somewhere else because there was literally too much partying at Albany. Every night it was a different thing. There were 25-cent pitchers on Wednesday nights. I was just getting obliterated. Is that the word? Every night. And now I get obliterated and I get high and like I don't have a hangover.
So many reasons the weed is better.
So many reasons. I like lost the joint that I was smoking. Oh, here it is. Because it went out because I talk so much.
So Adriana, if I ask you the highest you've ever been, is there a specific instance or event that comes to mind?
Oh my gosh, yes. The first time I ever dabbed, I didn't know what I was doing, and I felt like I was transported onto another planet. I was with this guy who I didn't know very well, but and I don't even remember. He dabbed in the most ghetto way possible, because I remember we weren't even using a dab rig. He just had like this wax like in a little thing, and he heated it up with this torch. Because I know how to dab. I've done dabbing now like a little bit here and there. So he heats it up with his torch and he tells me to hit it, and like I hit it really lightly, and he's like, no, not like that. So the next time I did it, I like really hit it, and I was just like, okay, I felt it that time. And I like couldn't move. I was sitting on the couch, and I remember I was like, I need to be by myself, and I crawled away into the corner, like into like a rocking chair, and I just like sat there like this. I was like, oh my God, I'm way too high. Please let me be a little less high. This is too... I'm like, I want to come down. And then I also recall getting the weed sweats. All of a sudden I was so hot. I was like, what? I was like, is it normal to get sweaty when you're high? And I started taking off my sweatshirt. And that was the first time I dabbed. So yeah, that's definitely the highest I've ever been, because I was like nauseous sitting there and thinking like, I was like, okay, I like getting high, but this is too much. This is a little too much. I may have girl bossed a little too close to the sun.
So are you someone who likes, are you gonna be like go-to strains or specific strains you like, or are you more of a like try every kind of thing?
Literally, I love to try everything. I
noticed your pre-roll collection was pretty extensive.
My pre-roll collection was
Yeah.
extensive. Please, you haven't seen nothing. You should see my... Okay, I have, instead of a dry bar like most people have in their houses or apartments, I have a bud bar. And it's got 2 different volcanoes in it, because I have 2 volcano vaporizers. It's got like 3 like normal bongs, not like the big ones I have. I have a bunch of different grinders. I've got this dope ass Van Gogh rolling tray.
Wow.
And like, so I smoke a lot, and I like a variety. So besides smoking that way, I also smoke vape cartridges, and the dispensary I go to has different kinds, and every time they get a new kind, I'm like, oh, I'll try that. The first month that I moved to Florida and I went to the dispensary, they called me about a month later and said that they had some edibles that they were giving away to like their top 10 customers or something. And I was like, oh, wow. And I was like, so I'm in your top 10 customers? And they were like, actually, you were number 1. And I was like, I don't know if I should be impressed or...
Absolutely.
But I love to be able to smoke all different kinds at the same time, like double fisting. And, see, like, this is the good shit, because I talk so much that my joints go out. But with a weed pen, you can just keep going and going. I also, one of the things I like most about weed pens is you can kind of control the high. I saw a meme somewhere that said, like, and I don't know what you call it, but I call it a weed pen. Um, it said that they're like the microwavable dinners of, or they're like the TV dinners of weed, and I was like, that's so true, and it's so accurate. But it's like I can be anywhere, and I'm just like, like, I'm like, you don't know when I'm smoking.
That's right.
You don't know that this isn't tobacco. And then I start coughing, and people look at me like, does she have COVID? I'm like, no, I'm just smoking.
Oh, well, Adriana, before we let you go, where else can people find you, like social media, stuff like that? Where's all the places they can find you?
So if you go to adrianarusso.com, that has all of the links to my social media. I'm on Twitter at theadrianarusso.com, and that's also the same username is for my OnlyFans is it is the Adriana Russo. My Twitter, my Instagram. I actually have one of my friends that I wanted to shout out also. My friend Jade, who is also a fellow pothead. Her name is Jade Heather. So if you go to jadeheather.com, you could see her stuff too. She's a redhead and she's sexy and she smokes. So
There you go. Adriana, thank
yeah,
you for taking the
thank
time,
you.
going through all the technical issues and stuff to get us where we are now.
Huh?
Thank you for going through all the technical issues and hanging in
Oh
there.
my god,
You,
anytime. This was so much fun.
absolutely. You want to come back on anytime, anything else to talk about, let me know. We'll get you back on
Oh
here.
my god, I would love to. I can tell you so many more stories about fetishes. Like, have you ever
Absolutely.
heard of giganticism? Probably not. Look it up.
There you go.
Your your local MILF will definitely be back on the show soon.
Awesome. Adriana, thank you. And have a great night.
Thank you. Have a good night.